Right, so how would you define child abuse?
I would define child abuse as a situation where a child is being harmed in any way, whether physically, emotionally, verbally, and it's a situation where a child is severely well, he isn't allowed a normal childhood. So I guess like abuse to me is something that is not a normal childhood. So.
How do you think we can prevent or fight against child abuse in Malaysia?
I think the first thing that we should do as a society is be more aware of what it is, and it's not just when a child is being beaten, but if a child is being yelled to constantly, being put down, you know, verbal abuse or emotional abuse or neglect, you know, those are all forms of abuse. And I think that raising awareness on what that is, that's a really important part of combating this issue. Another thing would be obviously enforcement, so having government policy and legislation that protects the rights of children is very important as well. And as young folks, you know, the young people of Malaysia and future parents, I think it's very important that you are aware of what abuse is, and if you know you for some reason have an inclination towards abuse or something like that, it's good to get help early on if that's a fear that you have. You know, those are some of the things that I think would help prevent child abuse in Malaysia.
So as a mom, do you think that you need to hit your children if they are naughty?
I personally don't feel there's a need to hit your children in any event. I don't think there's ever a reason for somebody in power to strike somebody who doesn't have power to defend themselves. I just don't think that's fair in any situation. And there are so many alternative ways to discipline your child. I've never had the need to ever hit my kids, and I don't see why anyone else would. But I think it's important to note that abuse is more than just hitting to discipline. I think abuse, it's the intentions behind it, and it's not just the discipline most of the time.
So what advice would you give to young parents, especially if their kids are being naughty and there's just a point that they can't stand it anymore?
Get out of the room. Okay, just put the kids in a safe place, get out. You know, collect yourself. You're an adult and you have more common sense than that. Okay, so I think also another important thing is to always remember that kids are kids and they will be naughty and they will do things to push your buttons, but it's important to always remember, and this is something I tell myself all the time, is that kids who are hit will hit. Okay, so if you're trying to teach your kids that hitting is wrong and you teach them that by hitting them, it's not going to make any sense. So, well, that's my personal opinion as a mom.